Okay, so when you're screening jokes for continued inclusion, you could imagine a joke that, let's like this with pieces of music. There'll be pieces of music that are very, very popular, that spread very rapidly, but that have no legs, right? They're the sort of earworm that you listen to once or twice.
TikTok
it's catchy.
Trends.
Yeah. When you're selecting jokes, I'm wondering, what are your criteria? Can't just be that it makes the most people laugh. Like, I could imagine there are jokes that have a delayed response, and the faster people in the audience catch it. Like,
absolutely.
Okay, so can you tell? How do you determine which jokes you keep? Like, what kind of response are you looking for?
The most amount of laughter is the best possible outcome. However, I don't know how to break this down psychologically, but there's something about comedians that like an response.
He
said the thing
that's
you're
an edgier
not supposed to say.
Yeah.
And it is funny. Not laugh out loud funny, but oh my God, he said it funny. Now there's
that's
shock
sort of
value.
That's separate from shock value, though, like you're pointing out. It's like, I can't believe he had the gall to say that. That's like the jester in the king's court, fundamentally, right? Is that you've brought to light something that everyone knows or suspects and pointed to it. Right. And that is funny that you get an O response like that.
But outrage would be so personal too, because that joke about domestic violence, you saw, if you saw the joke I don't know if you saw the whole special or the clip of it, but you saw a laughter reaction, right?
Oh yeah.
Nobody
it was clearly
in that
that
audience,
people thought that was funny.
Yes, nobody in the audience had a problem whatsoever. If you watch later in the special, I do a school shooting joke that gets a massive response.
And you didn't get canceled for that.
Nobody's talking about that. People only care about the things that offend them specifically. They don't care about me hurting somebody else's feelings potentially. It's very selfish. I find it entirely selfish. You're gonna let me make fun of other things and make jokes and make light of certain other dark topics, but the thing that affects you personally is the only thing you're upset about? It's very selfish.
Yeah. You gotta ask yourself too, if the people that I saw complaining about you, I saw absolutely no evidence in the way they were talking about your joke that they actually were hurt or offended. Whatever they said was, and I've seen this about people complaining on Twitter in particular, or in public, they almost always claim offense on the behalf of hypothetical other people who somehow they're acting as allies for or spokespeople for, which is a little bit on the condescending side to begin with, if you ask me. It's like, if they're offended, you know, if a group of women against domestic abuse had conjured up a petition against you, you know, and it was composed of 100,000 sufferers, well, that might be more evidence than some dim-witted TikToker who decided that they were going to be the spokespeople for these hypothetically offended victims, right?
No,
all the women who feel chained up in the kitchen.
And it's also as simple as just being an easy target. Like, a lot of people just want to not like me, so you give them any inkling of that, they go, boom, here's the thing I can attach myself to.
Yeah. It isn't only, I think, that they don't want to like you, it's that you blew up very relatively quickly. Like, I mean, I know
which isn't my fault.
No.
I would have loved a progressive rise in my career. I didn't know TikTok was gonna do this.
Right. Well, but you did put in the work.
Yes.
You know, it didn't happen. It didn't happen exactly overnight. You said you were in the trenches for what, 5 years before you had anything approximating real success? How long do you think?
Real success.
Well, I know
real
it's hard to-
success. I would say in stand-up, real success, probably 9 years.
9 years.
Probably
Okay.
9 years,
Okay. So we can't say that you blew up like this, but it wasn't sudden.
No,
right. It had a very long developmental curve. And
yes,
then,
exactly.
Right. But that's typical. That's typical of success, right? Even if it doubles, say it doubles every 18 months, if it starts at 0, it takes a long time for that doubling to start to actually show.
Yes.
Okay, but what that also meant was that, and this is another problem with social media, is that you had accrued a lot of status capital, right? So your status capital would be directly associated with how many people know you, essentially, and appreciate what you do. And what that means is that hangers-on can now leverage that for their own purposes. And the quickest and easiest way to do that is to complain about you publicly in a way that looks like it's compassionate. Right? Because there's zero effort on behalf of the person who does that. And what they're doing then is stealing some of your accrued social capital. And what's really appalling about that, as far as I'm concerned, is that they're doing that for their own narcissistic ends, which is why they make public statements on TikTok, let's say, in the hope that they'll go viral. And then they also do that while claiming that compassion rather than narcissism is their fundamental motivation. Right.
Yeah, it's
very
just,
ugly
it's
game.
purely clout chasing at its definition. To attach yourself to what somebody else has going on for your own selfish gain is so pathetic. You don't have anything else to offer. TikTok is a massive platform of a lot of artistic creators. It's everything from people dancing to philosophers.
Right,
like
right.
There's so much you can do on there.
Well,
and
you can do
can't
anything.
any of it without me.
Right. Right, without
so funny to
stealing
me.
from you, because that's essentially what it is.
And completely lying about who you think somebody is.
Right.
You don't know who somebody is based on a joke they said.
Yeah.
Sarcasm exists for a reason. I didn't mean the thing I said. I said it because it's funny and not what I actually feel on the inside.